Hey guys, Harsh here and welcome back to Technolobe. Today we're talking about two great laptops, MacBook Air M2 and MacBook Air M1. A couple of years ago, Apple launched the MacBook Air M1, which was a big change for them. Big change because they launched their new M series of chipsets, the M1, and it was a game changer back then. In fact, it is still a game changer. I have been using the MacBook Air M1 ever since it launched over here in India. I pre-ordered the M1, got it on first day, and to be honest, the entire experience in these 2 years has been nothing short of amazing because this laptop is amazing. Now recently, Apple launched an upgrade to that laptop called the MacBook Air M2, where it's an incremental upgrade, but the price change is not incremental at all, and that's why I am making this video today. If you want to buy a new MacBook Air and you are confused between the M2 and M1, don't worry, I'm here for you. Let's decode this, shall we? You will notice a theme for this video. All things in the MacBook Air M2 are just a little bit better than the M1. Like it's an incremental upgrade, and that's the theme you will notice across this video. Build quality wise, both of these laptops are same. You get a metal unibody enclosure. They're built very solid and feel premium. They do not feel cheap at all. Apple has been very good with build quality of their laptops, and there's no exception over here. MacBook Air M1 and M2 both are built very well and feel amazing in terms of build quality. If we talk about weight, MacBook Air M2 is just a little bit lighter as compared to M1. 1.24 kgs as compared to 1.29 kgs. So it's a minor difference. Talking about differences, the iconic wedge shape of MacBook Air is finally gone. With the MacBook Air M2, you get uniform thickness all around, and frankly, I prefer the MacBook Air M2. I like the wedge shape, but this one is way better, feels lighter and more comfortable in your hand. And that's the main thing. It should feel better, and it definitely feels better. And fun fact, the MacBook Air M2 is just a little bit thicker as compared to MacBook Air M1. It's just a little bit thicker, but somehow lighter. MacBook Air M2 has a slightly taller display. This time around it's a 2560 by 1664 display as compared to a 2560 by 1600 on the MacBook Air M1. So you get 64 extra pixels and a notch. Now those 64 pixels are great because the taskbar is now moved up, so you get more screen real estate, but that notch is ugly AF. Like I don't know what Apple was thinking by putting a notch in a laptop. It does not look good, but to be frank, you will not notice the notch in a couple of days. Like you will notice it for the first couple of days, but after that you won't even care about it. It's like the notch will hide in plain sight. The display on MacBook Air M2 is also a little bit brighter. It now has a peak brightness of 500 nits as compared to 400 nits on the MacBook Air M1. The difference is noticeable to the naked eye. It's not a big difference, but it is noticeable. And apart from that, both of these displays are extremely color accurate. You get very good colors. The viewing angles are great, and the entire media viewing experience is top notch. Well, without the notch on MacBook Air M1. But yeah, display wise, the MacBook Air M2 is just a little bit better as compared to MacBook Air M1. You should make a drinking game out of this. Whenever I say just a little bit better, you should take a shot, and I'm pretty sure you'll be drunk by the end of this video. Now before you move forward, a huge shout out to Capes India. The skin that you see on the laptop right now is called Forged Carbon, and it is by Capes India. Capes India makes one of the most high quality and precise skins out there, and they are excellent. I've been using them for years. I've been recommending them for years, and you should definitely go ahead and check them out. You can customize your smartphones, laptops, credit cards, and even car keys, for God's sake. So definitely check out Capes India by clicking the link in the description box below, and as a bonus to all of you guys, you can avail 10% discount by using the code Technolobe10. This gets me to the main point, that is performance. With the MacBook Air M2, you get a new M2 chip as compared to M1 chip on the MacBook Air M1. Now we all know MacBook Air M1 when it launched was great in performance. It is still great in performance. And is the MacBook Air M2 an upgrade? Yes, it is an upgrade, but just a little bit better. So how much of a difference does it actually make? Now I am a content creator and I edit videos on a daily basis. So for my workflow, I did a test. I exported a same 4K project on the MacBook Air M1 and MacBook Air M2 as well. This project had a lot of video clips, titles, color grading, transition effects, and all those things. And the MacBook Air M1 took about 8 minutes and MacBook Air M2 took about 6 minutes. Basically, M1 took 8 minutes to export the entire project and MacBook Air M2 took 6 minutes to export the entire project. So obviously M2 chip is better than M1, but it is not a huge difference. While editing the video, the timeline experience was same on both of these laptops. It's not like MacBook Air M1 was lagging in terms of the timeline, nothing like that. Both the laptops easily easily handle the 4K timeline with effects, titles, transitions and all the works. So yeah, for normal day-to-day performance, the difference is not noticeable because MacBook Air M1 is already great at that, and M2 just adds a little bit on top of that. Now between these chips there is one difference, that is in terms of GPU. With the base variant of MacBook Air M1 you get a 7-core GPU, and on the other hand with the base variant of MacBook Air M2 you get an 8-core GPU. So the GPU is better on the M2, and with the M2 you can upgrade to a 10-core GPU as well, as opposed to M1 which is maxed out at an 8-core GPU. So in terms of graphics performance, M2 is definitely better. The bottom line is performance on MacBook Air M2 is just a little bit better as compared to MacBook Air M1. This gets me to ports. Now here's where just a little bit better does not apply, because it is way better. MacBook Air M2 is way better in terms of ports just because of MagSafe, because that's the only extra port over here. So MagSafe is back for charging, it is secure, it is fast and extremely convenient, and there's one more big advantage. It frees up a Thunderbolt 4 port. Like with the MacBook Air M1 you get two Thunderbolt 4 ports, and if you want to charge the laptop while using it, then one port is gone because you are charging with that port. That's not a problem with the MacBook Air M2 because the charging port is separate, and yeah, that's a big advantage. This is one of the reasons why I would actually say that go for the MacBook Air M2, because it does make a big difference. If we talk about the keyboard and trackpad, again, keyboard is just a little bit better. The function key row is a little bit taller, making the entire keyboard experience just a little bit better, and same goes for the trackpad as well. But you won't notice a huge difference. It's like both the keyboards are awesome, and same goes for the trackpads as well. Both the trackpads are awesome. MacBook Air M2 is just a little bit better in terms of battery life as compared to MacBook Air M1. Again, time to take that shot. But yeah, on a serious note, battery life is better. It's nominally better, not a huge difference. Like overall, you'll get 30 to 40 minutes of extra battery life, or maybe even an hour, nothing more than that. So it's a small difference. In terms of charging, both of these laptops come with a 30-watt adapter inside the box for the base variant, but the MacBook Air M2 has a 35-watt dual USB port adapter in the higher variants. So if you want that adapter, you can buy it separately, but if you buy the higher variant, you will get that by default. But charging speeds with the included charger are same on both of these laptops. There's just one bonus point with the MacBook Air M2, and that is a braided cable. The braided cable is a welcome over here because it will last longer. This gets me to other things. If we compare the webcam with the MacBook Air M1, you get a 720p webcam, and on the other hand with the MacBook Air M2 you get a 1080p webcam. Speakers are identical on both of these laptops. They get plenty loud, they do not distort, and they're one of the best speakers out there in any laptops. I love the speakers on both of these laptops. What about the price? Well, this is the main thing. Right now MacBook Air M1 is available for somewhere around 90,000 rupees, and with that you can get 10,000 HDFC cashback as well. And on the other hand, MacBook Air M2 is available for 1,10,000 rupees, and again you can get that 10,000 HDFC cashback. So basically there is a difference of 20,000 rupees between both of these laptops. So should you spend 20,000 extra and get the MacBook Air M2? In my honest opinion, save the 20,000 rupees or go with the higher RAM variant of the MacBook Air M1. Like you can buy the 16GB RAM variant of the M1, and that will be way better than the base variant of M2. That is my honest opinion. Save your money, go with the MacBook Air M1. It's still great. MacBook Air M2 is just a little bit better as compared to MacBook Air M1, and it's 20,000 rupees more expensive, which does not make sense. I hope that clears the confusion between MacBook Air M1 and MacBook Air M2. Now do let me know what do you feel about this video in the comment section down below. If you like this content, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. My name is Harsh Punjabi, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.